Hey guys, got the new DJI Phantom 4K here. Just got it today. Wanted to wait a little bit so we can unbox it together. I know it's exciting for me. I'm sure it's going to be exciting for you. So, to just take a little look at the box itself. So this is the Phantom 3 with the 4K camera. I guess maybe you guys are thinking, why did I get this version? I'll tell you why. Out of the ones for the Phantom 3, the models that are available right now, you have the standard, then you have the 4K, you have the advanced, and you have the professional. Now they all go up in price range, from the standard being at around $500 right now. This one is, if you look at a Best Buy right now, it's on sale for $599. The next one up, the advanced, is $799. Then you have the professional for $999, so basically $1,000. The price of the professional is very close to the Phantom 4, which is around $1,200 at this point. So this one really is a good mid-level model. It has all the best features I was looking for, which for me would be the actual camera. It is the 4K camera and the same gimbal that's used in the professional itself. There are a couple differences when it comes to light bridge technology, and I think some of the actual features on the remote itself. So let's unbox this bad boy right here. Alright, got my X-Acto knife. Whenever you get these, always check that it's factory sealed. This one I can tell it's nicely factory sealed. This unit in particular, in case if you're interested, I picked it up from Amazon and it was on a fantastic sale. I actually got it under $600. If you guys are interested, let me know. I'll let you know. But you gotta check the prices on Amazon on a daily basis. Sometimes they have extreme price drops. So basically for me, it was either the 4K model or the standard. Now I really wanted the ground vision positioning sensors. This model does have it, which allows you to fly indoors. The standard model does not have the ground sensors. So you basically have to fly outside only while using GPS. That's the only way that you will have GPS lock. Alright, so this is what it looks like. Opening it up, you have a little booklet. I'm just going to look inside it myself. Some nice color-coded stickers in case you want to personalize your drone. The one that this one comes with, it already has the gold stickers on it. The red ones are for the standard model, and I guess you have some other ones here in case you want to customize whatever you want to do. Some instructions manual and a quick start guide, which I, for instance, definitely do have to read. At this point, all of my knowledge on the drone itself actually comes from watching other YouTube videos. So I thought I would give back to the community itself and make a video myself. All right, so let's open the box. You got this nice cover here. It looks pretty well protected, and the drone. So just hold it this way a little bit. So here's the drone. Looks well packaged. We'll have to probably get a box in the near future for rather a carrying case. I'm probably just going to use this for the time being. So we'll just carefully take this out of here. Alright. So got the drone. I'm going to set the other stuff here aside for now. And I'll just take out the rest of the equipment. And then we'll just discuss it as it is here on the table. Alright. So, just gonna lay it out here. We'll go in a certain order. Alright, so the gimbal protector looks like it fell off, and the gimbal looks fine. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Nothing's really bothering it. I'll put it back later, so this kind of as they're shipped. You could get a separate camera gimbal protector, but we'll just leave it. It looks okay. There's a clear plastic lens cover on the camera here. I can see seems to be swiveling just well. There's the actual gimbal. You could see I'm moving it. So this basically is used to eliminate any of the minor vibrations when the Phantom is in the air. So basically this model right here. What else is really interesting about this one compared to, let's say, a standard is the remote is completely different. So this model does use Wi-Fi, as does the standard, which, as you know, It's limited in range compared to Lightbridge technology. So as per DJI's website, this model on the Wi-Fi band itself has a 1.2 kilometer range, opposed to the standards range of 1 kilometer. Probably will never even hit half of that range, to be honest with you. But it's nice to know that you do have the possibility. You also have this really nice let's see how you open this, extended holder, which from what I understand could hold a device up to 7 inches. I think it's taped in here, so we're not gonna, yeah, it's shrink wrapped on the outside, so we're not gonna do this right now. I'm just gonna do it later on my own free time. But the standard model, you could only put in, I think, a phone up to about a 4-inch or something like that. You basically cannot use the iPad mini, which for me, I'm gonna be using the iPad mini 2 with the Retina display on this device. So the actual device holder is the same as the DJI Inspire and the same as on the advanced and the professional models. So for me, that was a big thing. You could always upgrade to this holder if you do have the standard, but it's gonna cost you around $15–20. So you could do that, but really just, you can keep it like as it is. What else? The remote itself. The remote is nicer than the standard model. Why do I say that? Let me take off some of this packaging here, and we'll discuss that. Let me be very neat. So the remote that's included with the standard, it's basically the same remote that was included in the Phantom 2 series, meaning a lot of the buttons are from an older generation Phantom. So and which buttons specifically, I'll tell you guys right now. So once I get this off, well, it's gonna look a little bad in the footage here. All right. Let me just cut this off a little more. Alright, so the remote itself has a good amount of weight. From what I heard, the advanced and the professional feels a little bit heavier in your hand. The best thing about this remote is it has a dedicated return to home button. If you look at the remote on the standard, you don't have that. Basically, you have to use a toggle switch here, which this model does not have. You have to shift it up and down twice, or you could use the return to home on your remote. I really like to have the dedicated button here, kind of the level of safety. I am a noob when it comes to drones. Well, not toy quality drones. I've had Sima X5, Sima X8s, but this is the first GPS enabled drone I've ever had. On the side here, you have a manual gimbal control, so you can literally move the gimbal up and down, such a manner. The rest of the buttons, you have dedicated play and dedicated take a picture button. So that's really what I like about this remote. Also, the sides feel really nice. You have this nice rubber liner. If you look at the standard model does not have this. In case you're wondering, well, should I get this model, the 4K, and be limited with the Wi-Fi range, or should you, step up to the advanced? Keep in mind, the advanced only has a 2.7K camera. The model, this particular one, 4K. So this is as high as you get. This is actually the same camera that's on the Phantom 4. So you're not missing out when it comes to video quality in any way. To me, that was very important. Because, I didn't particularly buy this model to fly it in sport mode all day long. It is slower than the Phantom 4, but you will get really good cinematics with this video. And that's what you're looking for, you will get it. In terms of range, there are a lot of options out there in the market now to extend the range of this remote itself. One of the best options and cheapest, I think it's about a $15 upgrade, they called it a windsurfer. It's basically a parabolic type attachment here that you put on the back that shapes the signal in such a way that it bounces it directly forward to the drone itself, which is in the air. Now, direction is very, very important. You have to hold the remote in such a way and basically bend the antennas in such a way where the signal will go forward. So it is directional in the most literal sense of the word, directional. The Lightbridge technology, which is available on the advanced and the professional, of course, you get up to, I think they say, a 5 kilometer range. But the price really at that point is almost at least 50% more. So it's really something you have to decide yourself on what you're looking for. The actual flight characteristics of the drone, no matter which model you get, other than the standard, as I said before, because the standard does not have these ground positioning sensors. So theoretically, I'd be able to fly this model right here in my basement, which is where I'm sitting right now. It's where I practiced and learned to fly my Sima. But that's a cheap quad. I'm not really worried about that one. This one you don't want to crash. These parts alone are enormous amounts of dollars. Another thing I found a really nice of DJI to do was they included a 16 gigabyte SD card. So you can take 4K footage. I don't really know how much time you'll get with that, but for the price, the technology here is just phenomenal. You have 4 brushless motors. You have the props right here in this nice little bag. And they're supposed to be including an extra set of props. So let's see. I know the standard itself comes with just the 4. This model has 8 props. So replacement wise, they're not expensive. They're just cheap plastic props. You could upgrade to the carbon fibers from DJI. They're only like $20-something on Amazon. But it's nice to know that you have props in case you bend or break them. They are self-tightening, so the way this works is you will attach them, and they are directional. So if you notice, you have 2 different colors. You have the silver and you have the black, so they are supposed to go opposite each other. I'm not sure which way, but there's arrows here and there's arrows on the actual quad. You could see right here, it's a directional arrow, and it's telling me to spin clockwise, and this one is saying counterclockwise. So once you tighten them, in flight, it'll basically self-tighten, but you should always check. I can't put it on, it's this plastic protection now. But in flight, you should, before you take off, obviously you should hand tighten, but you should always kind of lift up a little bit to see that it's actually physically locked in place. When you're looking for a case, make sure you get a case that it either has enough space to fit the prop if you're storing it with the prop, or that you have enough space to cut out an area of the case that you don't have to constantly keep taking off the prop, because I don't want to constantly unspin 4 props every time I go somewhere to fly this thing. What else is included in the case? So we talked about the remote. Remote's much better on the 4K model. You also have these 2 programmable C1 and C2 buttons in the back. From what I understand in the DJI software, you can program these to do whatever you want. Some people have attached some kind of dropping mechanisms on the Phantom with a separate servo. You can do whatever you want. The possibilities are basically up to you. This is, a high-end hobby quality type drone. Let's see what's in this case. So this is basically the battery charger. Let's see. The other difference between the professional and the advanced as compared to the standard and the 4K is the actual rate that the battery charges at. This one charges at, I think, 50 something watts. While the professional and advanced charge at 100 watts, so you will have a faster battery charge time, but in reality, at most, your battery will be definitely charged in 2 hours. So with this system here, you could charge both the remote and the drone at once. You just plug this in, normal US plug. I'm not going to open this right now, it's a regular plug adapter. What else do you have? The charge time for me, really not that big of a deal. I probably will never fly more than 1 battery pack at a time. In fact, I didn't even purchase a second battery. These things are expensive. They're like $130 to $40 for the battery alone. In comparison, when you're buying the whole drone for, let's say, $500 to $600, that's, that could be a quarter of the actual drone's value. That's kind of extreme, in my opinion. Let's see what's here. So here we have some accessories. I think one of it is supposed to be some kind of tool, and some spare rubber stabilizers that go in this gimbal right here. So this is the actual prop tool. I think it's called a prop wrench to untighten the prop in case you want to store it later. So we're just going to put that away. Probably not going to use that much. But I got to say, if you guys want to get into true hobby level aerial vehicles, this is a great way to start. There's a lot of other manufacturers out there. They do all have similar functions. The return to home, They have the same kind of sonar systems. Some even have obstacle avoidance, especially the Phantom 4. But these models in particular are the most common. They're the most readily available, I would say, and they happen to be some of the best models on the market in terms of the apps they use and the functionality with them that's associated. Keep in mind, if you're also looking for a valuable difference between this model and the Phantom 4 is the battery. So the battery here is rated at a lower capacity than the Phantom 4 in terms of milliamp hours. I think it's in the high 4,000s on this model, and on the Phantom 4 it's in the mid 5,000 milliamp hours. So you will get a little bit more flight time with the newer one, but once again, all those extra sensors, the obstacle and collision avoidance in the front, they do drain the battery. Also, in terms of flight time, I know it's a little bit ironic, but the Standard actually has the best flight time out of all the Phantom 3 lineup. The reason is it has less electronics to worry about. The 3 Standard does not have these optical sensors on the bottom, which they call vision positioning. So for me, the most important things that you should consider when getting, when choosing between the Phantom series and, the third one, the Phantom 3, meaning the Standard, the 4K model, or the Advanced or the Professional, is really whether you need the 4K camera or you're okay with the 2.7K, and whether you really need the ground positioning sensors, and whether you really care about the extra nicer, tablet holder on this remote. I personally really do care about that, because I will never use my small iPhone on this. I will plan to use the iPad mini. So basically, if you have any tablet and you want to use it, you need to be getting this holder. It will expand up to about this size. You can get a nice lanyard to attach right here. There's a little section here, so you could kind of hang it on your neck. You could fly easily. You have auto takeoff modes, you have auto land modes. You can basically fly to waypoints. The apps that are used in the Phantom 3 series are identical to the actual DJI Go app as used in the Phantom 4, with the exception of some functionality, mainly the follow me function. But if the follow me function, where you want to set something and you have the drone follow it autonomously, is very important to you, you could always get it's called the Litchi app. Guys, just look it up on YouTube. You will see it's basically the same functionality in terms of sensors. Whatever's available on this model is almost the same as on the Phantom 4, with the exception of the front obstacle and collision avoidance, which really only work in the daytime and if you're going forward. And as you guys know, I don't know if you do or not, but most drone accidents and collisions happen when a drone is going, let's say, backwards or sideways, whether it's a tree or a branch or anything like that. Well, basically, I just wanted to give you guys a short overview of my new drone. Please feel free to ask me any questions, why I made this decision, and I would love to help all of you guys decide the drone that you're looking for. Right now is a great time to buy this one. The Phantom 3 lineup, all of the models included, especially the 4K and the Standard, are just really good entry-level drones for the price you can get it at. They all basically have the same type of running gear compared to the Phantom 4, which I think over $1,000 for such a hobby is a little extreme if you're not going to be using the footage for something professional. For me, I just want to take some images, see how it is, fly around a little bit, and have a good time with the drone. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be sure to keep making some good videos with this drone. Post some nice aerial footage. I already got some lens filters, so we'll see how those work. I'm gonna get some options. I think what's important also for this drone is to get a higher landing gear skid. There are a lot of options you can get on Amazon and eBay that basically will raise the camera off the ground. You can see here, it's literally a centimeter from the table. So if you're landing in something slightly rough or even some kind of tall grass, the gimbal is definitely going to take a beating. Planning on getting some minor upgrades. Basically a little gimbal protector. It mounts on here's carbon fiber, and a slightly higher landing gear skids that will raise it off the ground at least another inch. So that's all I gotta say. Thanks so much for watching.